The concept of philosophical suicide is a powerful metaphor in the world of philosophy. This term does not literally refer to the physical suicide of an individual, but rather to the act of dismantling or undermining one's philosophical beliefs or foundations of thinking. In other words, philosophical suicide is a self-destructive act within the philosophical approach. This concept can be connected to various currents of thought and philosophies, but it is particularly evident in the currents of nihilism and existentialism. For example, Friedrich Nietzsche argued that nihilism represents a type of philosophical suicide in which individuals abandon all traditional beliefs and values, leading to a denial of reality itself. From this perspective, nihilism represents an act of destruction of the moral and cultural beliefs that have sustained society for centuries. On the other hand, existentialism, as represented by thinkers such as Jean-Paul Sartre, can be associated with philosophical suicide through its emphasis on individual freedom and the responsibility to create meaning in life. Existentialists argue that individuals are doomed to be free and that they are faced with the existential angst of creating their own values and purposes. However, some may interpret this as an act of destroying traditional conceptions of meaning and security. Philosophical suicide can also manifest itself in other forms, such as René Descartes' radical doubt, in which all beliefs are questioned in order to arrive at a fundamental certainty. This process can feel like a self-destructive demolition of one's previous beliefs. In conclusion, the concept of philosophical suicide represents a complex idea that reflects the tendency of some philosophers to question the foundations of their own thinking or prevailing cultural beliefs. It can represent an act of creative destruction, where old ideas are torn down to make room for new perspectives, but it can also lead to a sense of bewilderment and philosophical crisis. In any case, philosophical suicide highlights the critical and self-reflective nature of philosophy itself. Philosophical suicide is a metaphor used in the field of philosophy to describe the act of deliberately dismantling or undermining one's philosophical beliefs and foundations. It does not imply literal suicide, but represents a process of self-destructive thought deconstruction. This concept finds expression in various philosophical currents, such as nihilism and existentialism. In nihilism, philosophical suicide emerges when individuals abandon traditional values and beliefs, leading to the denial of reality itself. According to Friedrich Nietzsche, nihilism involves the destruction of the moral and cultural beliefs that have sustained society for centuries. Existentialism, as illustrated by Jean-Paul Sartre, can be associated with philosophical suicide through its emphasis on individual freedom and the responsibility to create meaning in life. Existentialists argue that individuals face the anxiety of defining their own values and purposes, often challenging traditional notions of meaning and safety. René Descartes' radical doubt can also be considered a form of philosophical suicide, in which all beliefs are questioned in order to reach a fundamental certainty. This process can feel like a self-destructive demolition of previous beliefs. In summary, philosophical suicide reflects the tendency of some philosophers to question the basis of their thinking and prevailing cultural beliefs. This concept can lead to a creative destruction of old ideas to make room for new perspectives, but it can also cause bewilderment and crisis. In any case, philosophical suicide highlights the critical and self-reflective nature of philosophy itself. So what would be the right philosophy to follow? I would recommend transhumanism as a cultural, philosophical, and technological movement that promotes the use of advanced technologies to enhance human capabilities and overcome biological limitations. This movement supports the idea that human beings can and should be improved through the application of technologies such as artificial intelligence, biotechnology, nanotechnology, and robotics. The main ideas and goals of transhumanism include 1. Human enhancement ***. Transhumanism aims to enhance human performance through the use of advanced technologies. This could include increasing intelligence, life expectancy, physical strength, and even eliminating genetic diseases. 2. Immortality or life extension ***. Some transhumanists seek to overcome biological death through longevity research and the suspension or uploading of the human mind onto non-biological substrates, such as computers or robots. This concept is known as mind uploading.
3. Artificial superintelligence. Transhumanism promotes the development of advanced artificial intelligence with the goal of creating highly intelligent machines that can collaborate with humans to solve complex problems. For cognitive enhancement, the use of neurotechnologies and nootropics to enhance human cognition and learning is a major interest in transhumanism. 5. Ethics and safety. The transhumanist movement also addresses ethical and safety issues related to the use of these advanced technologies, including concerns about potential inequalities and unforeseen consequences. It is important to note that transhumanism is a large and diverse movement, with various shades of thought. Some enthusiastically embrace it as a way of improving the human condition, while others are more cautious and concerned about the ethical and social implications. Transhumanism is also the subject of philosophical debate on fundamental issues such as human identity, individual freedom, and the meaning of life. Overall, it represents an interesting convergence of science, technology, and philosophy, which continues to spark discussions and reflections on the future direction of humanity. This philosophical view holds that there is no intrinsic meaning or innate value in the universe or in our existence. In other words, according to nihilism, the concept of a universal goal or values is groundless. Nihilism suggests that, in the absence of objective meaning, all beliefs and moral norms become baseless. This means that deep questions about the purpose of life and the nature of good and evil have no definitive answers. One of the defining characteristics of nihilism is its critique of organized religion and political ideologies. Nihilism regards these structures as sources of arbitrary values and dogmas without rational foundation, emphasizing the need to critically examine traditional beliefs. Adherence to nihilism can lead to feelings of disillusionment, alienation, and hopelessness, as a lack of meaning or intrinsic values can make life seem purposeless. However, it should be noted that nihilism is not a unified view. There are different shades of nihilism, including epistemological nihilism. This form of nihilism questions the possibility of knowing reality objectively. He argues that we can never reach a complete and definitive understanding of the world. Moral nihilism. This perspective denies the validity of ethical or moral norms. It argues that our moral beliefs are mere cultural or personal constructs and have no objective basis. Existential nihilism. This variant explores the absence of meaning in human life and emphasizes the need to create one's own existential meaning or purpose. In conclusion, nihilism represents a deeply radical and controversial philosophical perspective. While some see it as an opportunity to critically examine traditional beliefs and values, others see it as a pessimistic and problematic worldview. Nihilism has had a significant impact on contemporary philosophy, literature, and culture, generating debates about the nature of humanity and the surrounding world.